Most honorable greetings to you, my fellow royal beings of planet Earth, of Tameri, Tamari, Tamerikha, as well as Kairi and Alubera. Yours truly here, Her Highest Imperial Majesty, Goddess M.D.A. Trinity, also known as Ternicka Mahabal. So as you know, I spoke yesterday and I have served a notice to all agents. A notice to agents is a notice to principal and vice versa. So on this rise, and before continuing, it is the vernal equinox. What it speaks on, in truth, is the beginning of a new year, the beginning of abundance, prosperity, as it is the time of spring. And I speak abundance, prosperity, and continued greatness to you, my fellow royal beings, paying attention to this video. All right, to you and your household, much love and continued gratitude to every single one of you. Okay, so as I continue now, I would always say to you to pay attention realistically, because there's many things occurring here in the atmosphere, within the dimensions that many of my fellow beings are still asleep with. All right, so I have also shared Trinitarian order with you, my fellow royal beings, which is the world order. It is the world order of our civilization, moving ahead from this day onwards and restoring our natural jurisdiction of natural law, natural governance, natural government, out of the mental and spiritual shackles of the colonizer, with a de facto government and constitution that is colonizing and no longer has will to do such. With the dissolving of the parliament and they coming to an end of operations, we, the royal beings, we, the indigenous beings, are now in full jurisdiction of our own constitution, of our civilization, of our governance as our self-autonomy, self-governance and such. And as mother, primordial mother and matriarch, it is the order of the mothers to return to the source root of all creation. All right, so with this being mentioned, I share to you the whole retrospect of what is occurring. And to those who may not comprehend the linguistic art, it is okay. It is okay as well to be willing to unlearn, to relearn again in that formation of, consistent growth. All right, so should you not know, it is okay to ask the question, to do the research, yet do not be quick to be ignorant and empty and an empty vessel to what you may not even know of, or level frequency ratio that you have not got to as yet. All right, so those who have eyes to see will see, those who have the ears to hear will be able to hear. Yet, my fellow royal beings, you're always welcomed to advance into greater knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right, so the nation of Tameri, Tamari, is in full utilizing and operating in the Trinitarian order, which is created and designed by yours truly, Her Highest Imperial Majesty, Goddess M.D.A. Trinity, also known as Ternicka Mahabal, in the guidance, protection, and security scope of my ancestors, as I have and I know in truth that my ancestry has been those of higher civilization. Okay, I have higher civilization beings as my ancestors. It is in my DNA, my diagnostic energy algorithm, as well as my diagnostic natural algorithm as well too. And to my fellow royal beings, I am speaking this way because I know that we, the nine ethers, do have these capacities within us where we are able to tap into a higher level of consciousness and awareness that is beyond five senses. Okay, some persons are still in the comfort zone of just replicating five senses as if they do not have this space up here. All right, the first seed of creation has came from the seed of thoughts, okay, from mother. All right, the primordial mother, and myself, who is primordial mother, goddess, chieftess, empress, queen, sovereign governor general of this mission and motion of this global movement, I do allow you, my fellow royal beings, to get familiar and to be further enlightened and inspired into your whole identity. One who doesn't know who they are is incapable of actually healing the traumas they face. So this is something of very much importance. I have also spoke on what natural law is, and pertaining to what has been utilized as a maritime law, admiral law, corporate law, whatever other de facto operation they have used. Natural law is something that is different, because these other laws are unnatural to us, because it has been a colonizing tool agent, and it hasn't been serving us, the indigenous beings, any good, because it has been an enslaving tool. And with this enslaving tool, they who have been responsible in utilizing it as a benchmark to govern the nation truthfully must compensate, and I demand such that they compensate us, the fellow royal beings, and they will be able to compensate us soon with the togetherness and aspiration of my fellow royal beings, who are not here to be distracted by poor ignorance and stupidity. Okay, so let me read again natural law. So the natural law cannot be written or created, only discovered or revealed in accord with the present sacred maxims. Okay, so the natural law cannot abrogate, it cannot be suspended nor changed. All right, because it is a divine law. Therefore, any rule claimed to be natural law that usurps, denies, or contradicts a divine law is null and void from the beginning. All right, so having no valid or legitimate force or effect whatsoever. And this is what they have imposed on my ancestors, my fellow indigenous beings, or fellow indigenous nations, or fellow indigenous tribes, as well as my fellow royal beings of Al-Kebulan. They have imposed a system of policies, statutes, and constitution that is not valid, it is not legitimate, and is null and void. Okay, so with the dissolving of parliament and it coming to an end, this is where we secure the jurisdiction as such. And when it comes, as I mentioned before yesterday, pertaining to the circumstance with the visas and these things, it doesn't apply to the indigenous people. It doesn't apply to the indigenous people of Tameri, of Tamari, Tamerikha, and as well Kairi and Alubera, all right, and as well Kairi and Alubera. It doesn't apply to any of us here in the what we refer to as the Caribbean. Okay, none of the above, because they have been colonizing agents using an artificial style of governance. When I say artificial, it is foreign to us it is foreign to what is natural. All right, it is foreign to what is natural. And in the motion of tapping into our ancestral identity, it is something that is very much important. Okay, we have been the beings who we not just only have, we are the beings who are of an advanced form of civilization. All right, so there are beings who are only able to operate in a three-dimensional and at the brink of a four-dimensional state of consciousness. All right, and there are beings who are able to operate in advancement of five-dimensional consciousness and beyond. And it is where Mother is. It is where Tiamat is at present. Tiamat being Mother Earth. All right, so in the clause of the mothers, I take in full the protection and security of such as the matriarch. And to you, my fellow sons, it is very much honorable and respectful for you to also acknowledge and be aware of the order of the mothers, and to also protect the order of the mother. So with the nation of Tameri, Tamerikha, inclusive of Kairi and Alubera, we are in all motion, not just motion, but we are actively utilizing the Trinitarian order as the world order, moving ahead from this movement forward. I address this to all leaders globally, incorporated or not incorporated. Please be aware and know this.